This is Tony Hendrick with Painting Spirit, and today's subject, I don't have my little drawing here, my pre-drawing. I was setting up my palette. So my subject for today is going to be the art critique. And last night I had a dream where a bunch of friends were in a band, and they asked me to join the band. And they put me on drums. I'll make this dream short. So we were playing a gig, and there was 3 things that I messed up on. First one was my outfit. I think the other members of the band had a kind of like a zoot suit outfit type theme going on. Don't quite know what that was about, but that seemed like an easy fix for me. All I had to do is, at first I said to the leader of the band, why don't you pick out something for me? And I thought, I guess I can do that. I know what they're going for, with the look that they're going for. I'll find something that's unique to me. The other thing I screwed up on was there was a part in one of the songs where I came in a little bit heavy, and I did it more than once. I thought, well, that's an easy fix. I'll just get out of the habit of getting so heavy with that part of the song, and practice will take care of that. The other one was a little more difficult. My rhythm, they put me on drums, and my rhythm was off every now and then. It would waver back and forth to being in rhythm and being out of rhythm, and I thought, jeez, how am I going to fix that one? I haven't always been, it's just not something natural for me to have perfect rhythm. And then somebody said in the band, they mentioned some drummer in a famous band that their rhythm was a little bit off, but it made their songs really interesting. Anyway, so I woke up this morning and was fresh off of that dream and thought, today I'm going to talk about the art critique. Let's get something going with this painting here. If you've ever been to art school, you remember the art critique. I went to Kansas City Art Institute, was newly married, moved to Kansas City, first time living away from home, or out of state anyway. So it was an exciting time for me. And I was transferring credits from the community college in my hometown, transferring to art school, but I needed to get one more semester of credits in to come in at a 3rd year semester at art school. So I went to the community college that first semester out in Kansas City, and took a sculpture class. I'm going to get some thick mediums going here. I'm working on a landscape today. So this medium, what it helps me to do is kind of, I just put in all those colors underneath, and now it just gives a layer over the top of that where I can pick away at what's underneath or lay on top stuff that I don't want to blend with what's underneath. So that's what that is. See how I can lay that blue on top of that yellow and orange, create some stuff going on in the ground, some detail stuff. So the reason I bring up this sculpture class is because it kind of took me by surprise the first critique we had. He said he didn't like critiques, or maybe he said that he didn't like the word critique. And it stood out to me because I used to really love that part of art school, is it's the time when you get to share with other people your thoughts and ideas and get to know the other students, really. And it's one of my all-time favorite things to do, which is to go to art museums with friends and basically talk about the art, share the art. So I didn't quite get where he was coming from, but I knew there was something there, so I took note of it. It's one of the memories that sticks out to me, being in art school then, or the community college. I probably wrote him off as, well, he's just not a serious artist at the time or something. He's an instructor at a community college. I don't know what my thoughts were, but I do know what it's like to be in that mode of critical thinking where it turns into more of a downer than what it is that I really enjoyed about critiques at art school, which is all for me just about sharing. And I'm sure you've heard this said before, that the biggest critic is the one in my own head. So you get out of art school and try to do some artist friend critiques. Those lasted until we began having children and different parts of our lives started to take over. And anyway, the critic that I would like to talk about is the one in my mind. It's basically keeping me from really owning the creativity, what I know about myself as an artist. And I'm not just talking about myself, but I know from experience this part of myself that can instead of it being sharing and learning and growing, it really can bring you down instead. And we've all had that friend too that maybe is a little too positive all the time. It's easy for us to see in other people maybe, but there's that tendency to want to be positive, yet underneath there's maybe something there that really is wanting to come out, that it can be something that you're not wanting to look at necessarily. So there's all kinds of things about the art critique that can be helpful. But how do you balance that part where you are criticizing? What you really want is just to grow, to learn, to share. I'm going to get into this painting a little bit here. See what I can get to happen with these trees. Well, I think the key to finding that balance in the inner critic or the art critique at school, you don't want to ignore stuff and just be all positive. It can get pretty boring. And you don't grow as an artist necessarily that way. But I talk about having life in your art, and children seem to come about that naturally without any critiques. What is that brings the life to the painting, to the art? I'm finding for myself, it really is all about love. And getting that feeling inside where it's just love that you're feeling. And entering into conversations about stuff from that place. You can be honest and open, but it really has a different effect when you can come from a place of not judging it and just sharing. I mentioned yesterday that Marianne and I revisited the Hobbit movies. We're actually enjoying them quite a bit. It's just because they're fun. When they first came out, I was quite disappointed. I didn't really care for them. So I was coming at that place from that experience of disappointment. So I was probably finding in my conversations being overly critical. But now Marianne and I are having these conversations about this movie that are leading to this really deep appreciation for the actual book, which we both read. And so we're just having a good time with it. So really, it's approaching it from that place of feeling good inside. And let that be the foundation for the art critique. Whether you're with a group of friends or whether it's in your own mind, looking at your own art. So, where did I end up with this painting here? been paying too much attention to what I've been painting. Finish it off with a little bit of color here and there. And that's it for today. So get out your own brushes and see what you can do with your own inner critic. Find the love inside and see how that shifts everything. We'll see you tomorrow.